Welcome back. Now, Monday Okpebholo's victory at the Edo State governorship election on September the 21st is still a big talking point in the country. Senator Okpebholo, the APC standard bearer, secured 291,667 votes to defeat Okpebholo of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), who secured the highest votes in 7 local government areas, and of course coming second in the election with 247,274 votes. The candidate of the Labour Party, disappointingly, I should say, that's Olumide Akpata, garnered a paltry 22,763 votes. Now, one of the major surprises of the election was the result in Oredo local government area, where Governor Obaseki hails from. Despite being the governor's home base, the APC won the local government area with 30,780 votes, while the PDP trailed with 25,938 votes. Now, that local government area is very key because it's actually the local government area with the highest number of voters. And before the election, it was considered a battleground state. Now, the Labour Party candidate, who's also from Oredo, managed to secure just 5,389 votes in that local government election. Quite disappointing because a lot of people had thought that Olumide Akpata, who is from Benin City, was going to do well in that local government area. But unfortunately, he did very poorly. In fact, I think his highest number of votes actually came from that local government area. Now, reacting to his victory, Okpebholo has assured that he will commence the development of the state from where former Governor Adams Oshiomhole stopped. So joining me now from London to discuss more on the outcome of the election is Kasim Afegbua, who is the Director of Media of the APC Campaign Council for the Edo State gubernatorial election. Mr. Afegbua, thank you very much for joining us on the program. First off, let me say congratulations, but as you know, this is not the end of the battle yet. The PDP has said it is heading to the court to challenge the outcome of the election. It's accused your party of rigging the election that your party did not win. What will be your reaction to that?
Let me first and foremost swallow the fledgling of your congratulations. and I say thank you very much for according me that recognition that at least we deserve to be congratulated. Those who are crying, who are bad losers, like the PDP, can go to court. It is permissible under the law. But my honest advice will have been to tell Okpebholo, who is a lawyer, to keep the remaining money that he has to waste for lawyers. Because the circumstances surrounding the election are so clear, so visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, according to Igodomigodo, that going to court would be a waste of time. And the reasons are very clear. You just mentioned Oredo local government and you mentioned Olu Akpata disappointingly. You see, Edo voters are very enlightened, they are very mobilized, they are very conscientized, they are very sensitized. Olumide Akpata is from Edo South, a Benin man. Godwin Obaseki is a Benin man who will be finishing 8 years on November 12th. And Olumide was expecting that he would become governor to succeed him again, back to back. If he didn't work in Nigeria with Atiku and Buhari, why does he think that he will work in Edo? So the general feeling, the preponderance of opinion before the election was that Edo Central should hit the nail. And so when 2 candidates emerged from there, the APC candidate and the PDP candidate, the Edo people will just have to go for the one who is less combative, who is very humble, who is very sublime in his dealings with people, who is very respectful, than to support a candidate that a governor who has been quarrelsome and combative is supported. It won't make any rational sense. That's why you see Edo people spoke from the innermost of their hearts to support a man they tried to demonize, a man they call all sorts of names, a panel builder, a man, the son of nobody, is today going to lead Edo. That level of humility that level of empathy, that level of emotional intelligence is what we need to rally around Edo once again and build a unity that will sustain our homogeneity as a state. We are linked together with, by several ancestral history and antecedents. And so Godwin Obaseki came to balkanize all of that, trying to plant hatred instead of planting harmony, planting love and all of that. He planted hatred. He quarrels with virtually everybody who is somebody. In APC, it was quarrel that led him out. In PDP, he started quarreling with Legacy Group. They formed Legacy Group. They formed Godalo, Obaseki's camp. There is a Philip Shaibu's camp. There is the chairman of party's camp. All manners of camp. When you are not united, you don't expect to win election because all of these factors will count against you. You've seen the number of defection that APC received before the election. Even the other you are talking about, the man who defeated Obaseki there on 2 occasions when he was in the APC, Okpebholo Hama, defected to us about 2 weeks before election. So there is no how that we will not have beaten Godalo, who does not know the politics of Edo State.
But let me ask you this, and perhaps you may want to react to
his,
it.
Godfather.
Yes, something I want you to react to is you've seen some of the allegations flying around, especially from the camp of the PDP. They've put out series of results saying that, results from the polling unit did not match with results results on the IRF server now did not match with what INEC eventually released. What have you got to say to that?
They are very lazy and very unscientific in their position, in the position they are canvassing. I think they need to be taught what electoral process what is involved in electoral process, and also need to be enlightened about the process of voting at the polling unit in relation to IRF and the final outcome of voting. I give you a typical example. If you vote at the polling unit, when results are counted of the polling, there are instances where there are overvoting. There are instances where there are undervoting, so to speak. The agents of party will quickly snap and send to their party's situation room. Whatever you snap and send to the situation room at the polling unit is not the final outcome of the polling of that unit. Because after you are finished, you have to assemble every result from the polling units in that ward to what they call Ward Collation Center. Presided over by a collation officer different from the ones who masterminded the voting itself. When they come, agents of party will line up. They will be interrogating the outcome of every polling in all the units for that ward. When they have power under the law at that point to raise queries, to raise concerns. Oh, this is overvoting. Only the collation officer has the power, having listened to the complaints, he has the power to cancel. If there are incidences of violence, if there are incidences of ballot box stuffing, if there are incidences of overvoting or accredited votes more than or less than what was recorded, it is that collation officer that has the power to cancel some of those results and say, no, this cannot be accepted based on what party A agent, party B agent, and all that, what they have complained about. I think the records speak for itself. Then when they remove all those cancelled results, would that be the same as what was recorded at the polling unit? It cannot be the same. Then from the one level, you go to the local government collation center. All the wards, like in my place, Etako East, we have 10 wards. We left my ward collation center by 10:45 p.m. We drove 50 minutes to Agenibode. By the time we got to Agenibode, every ward 1, 2, 3 to 10 will be called upon to defend the outcome of their results. Agents are sitting there. Everybody is sitting. It's not a secret society. When they are done, there are chances that some of your results may be cancelled. Some you can gain some may just be left the way it is. Like in the case of Esako East, we lost 3,167 votes when the final collation was done in Esako East. They said because there are incidents of accredited voters are less than what was recorded. Some places they said no, there are mutilation. They said there are cancellation and all that. So everybody, once it is agreed like that, that becomes the position of the local government captured by the 10 wards of that local government. So it cannot be the same with what you have on IRF, because IRF is hasty. And don't forget, PDP also hacked into IRF, and they were posting all manners of results. They hacked into IRF site, and they were posting all manners of results. And so we were just laughing, because if you have your agents on ground, they will monitor the entire process of collation from the ward level. Like in my ward, Ward 5, we have 19 voting area. 19. The result of that 19 will be packaged into that ward collation center, and they will be looked at thoroughly by all agents and the collation officer. So when people start shouting about IRF not reconcilable, how can it be the same? For God's sake. Please tell them to go and look at the processes of collation of election results and what have you. It is at the local government level that once it is concluded and that's the position, then they can post to IRF or whatever, what have you. But party agents are always in a hurry to snap picture and all that without even taking cognizance of the fact that there could be overvoting, that there could be incidences of ballot box stuffing and all of that. That was what happened.
Yes, so there's no question at all that the courts will have the final say on that. But let me ask you this. Now that your party has won,
the court is not
and Okpebholo is set to be Nigerian politicians should learn of Edo State.
Also accept outcome of results. Because every time we keep putting the court as if the court is also an electoral umpire.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way it is here. But let me ask you this. Now that, Okpebholo is set to be elected governor, what do you think, and what do you think is the biggest challenge now that your party faces in governing Edo State?
Okay, I'll tell you right away, DEJI. The party, the state is like a terribly accidented vehicle. Maybe you call it head-on collision with Berlin Wall, so to speak. You can imagine how that kind of a vehicle is. We have gotten a panel builder that will beat Edo State to shape so that the Edo vehicle can once again come on the road to ply our roads. I'm just speaking metaphorically, but putting into perspective the reality in Edo, we are going to be confronted with almost ₦1 trillion debt burden. The state government officially, by the debt management office, Edo is owing 575 billion. That's domestic debt. External debt, $145 million. By the time you look at exchange rate of today and you add the figure together, you are going to hit almost like 800 and something billion, which is almost getting to $1 trillion. That's the debt. Knowing full well that the state governor inherited 43 billion naira in 2016. So we have a Herculean task on our hand. And this is happening at a time when there is improved allocation. Even in the last 1 year of President Tinubu, the allocation Edo has gotten is close to 150 billion. Because on a monthly basis, we are getting 11 billion, 11.5 and all that. Then we got 22.5 billion from 30% derivation. Then the state government prides itself of having generated 67 billion IGR in 1 year. If you add those figures together, we are nearing 200 billion. But she asked me in the last 1 year, what has been the legacy project of the outgoing governor in Edo State to even justify the income that we have gotten in terms of allocation, and even what we'll be leaving behind. So is leaving behind a state that is decayed infrastructurally. Is leaving behind a state that is rotting. Education sector is rotting. Health sector is rotting. All the promises that he gave when he was coming into office, he didn't fulfill 40% of them.
But then your party has been elected to fix these problems, to address these problems.
Yeah. It's a huge problem. That's why the governor-elect will sit down, rub minds with people, choose a very strong, solid, crack team that can interrogate all of these developmental challenges, see how we can fix our health sector, insecurity, how to fix education. They tell you Edo best, but you don't see anything on ground. Schools are without teachers. Only last week we were hearing that Obaseki says he has recruited 5,500 teachers. All these 8 years, he didn't remember. He didn't remember to recruit 5,000 teachers. We will be complaining and shouting that our schools are without teachers. We have 2 teachers, 3 teachers. Now he's announcing that he wants to recruit 5,500 teachers. We are not going to be in a hurry to absorb hook, line, and sinker what he will be bequeathing to us. No. We are going to critically analyze the scenarios and the governmental departments and agencies, and we are going to ensure that we put the right team in place that will be able to dissect all of these problems with a view to providing solutions, and solutions that are going to be measured. 100 days, what we can achieve, another 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, just like that. And don't forget, Edo, as it is today, is sharply divided.
Yes.
We need to unite Edo and bring it to that level of the Edo collective, both home and abroad, so that we can think and reason the same way. Not having a governor who was literally fighting everybody. He was never at home with the monarchy, the great Oba of Benin. The artifacts that came, he was dragging artifacts with them. He started building a museum that is going to be like an uncompleted project now, because the museum ought to have been the property of the palace, because that was where they stole the artifacts. Foreign governments brought money to build the museum. The governor refused, and I'm saying this, to release the money to the appropriate quarters. So what we are facing is Herculean. I don't envy anybody taking over from Governor Obaseki. Because if you drive around Benin during rainfall, you will pity yourself. Well, the flooding and erosion in Benin is terrible. And I'm happy that the governor-elect says he's going to continue where Oshomole stopped. The Stormwater Master Plan project, which Oshomole started, was abandoned by Obaseki for 8 good years. That's why the drains are never desilted. New outlets are never created and all of that. So we need to, it's going to be a healing process. It's going to be a process that will address the developmental challenges. Those who demolish their houses will also need to get their buy into government so that they don't get scared of government. Government is of the people, for the people, and by the people. And so for that reason, you don't need to create fear in the minds of people. Don't forget that before the election, he said it was going to be a do or die. Later, he said that nobody should arrest his boys. Don't forget that there are incidences of attack on our governorship, governor-elect, as it were then, and the deputy governor of the state.
Let me ask you this final question before I let you go.
Yeah.
If you can hear me, this is a final question. Look, several interests came together to support Monday Okpebholo as governor of, to win the election. Several interests from not just even within the APC, and then you have people who came from the PDP and all of that. Even some people who are still in the PDP but then supported him. So several interests. I'm just wondering, how do you think the governor-elect now and your party will manage this divergent interest to ensure that, that there isn't crisis eventually? Because what we've always seen is that when you have interests like that, eventually there's a big fight. We saw that when Governor Obaseki defected to the PDP, and after he got elected, this big fight happened and everything just went awry. How are you going to avoid that?
You see, very nice question. Power has to do with acquisition and distribution. When you are selfish with power distribution, that's when you have problems. We know those who are politically relevant to us in the course of this project. We know those who are pretentious, who were pretending to be with us, and they were dining on the other side. We have our intelligence in different areas. That we kept quiet was not because we didn't know what to do, but we just needed to tolerate every Tom, Dick, and Harry for us not to create cracks within the system. Now, we will try as much as possible to rally around Edo people in the first place and ensure that different segments of the Edo population are able to present people forward who will represent their interests. And what is that interest? Developing Edo. Once they see that you are developing Edo people are very, lovely people, very enlightened, very exposed. Once they see that you are developing Edo and you are carrying people along, you are using the right communication tools. See, the sky will be your limit. So we have an outgoing government that's the governor that is like a conquistador. He wants to be the one who is the Alpha and Omega. It doesn't work that way. Power is ephemeral. It is transient. And so when people find themselves in positions of authority, they need to be humble. They need to respect the people's wishes and aspirations. They need to listen to their yearnings so that when you are generating policies and programs, it will suit those yearnings and aspirations. And that is the point of convergence of all persons. But where you now have a situation where a governor sees an Edo person and he sees him like an enemy, that's like missing the point. So we are going to treat every Edo sons and daughters, like our friends. Because the governor-elect is going to be governor of both PDP, APC, Labour Party people and all of that. He's not going to be governor of APC alone. So he will be governor of everyone, and the point of convergence of all of these views will be how, if he fixes a good road, a bad road, and he puts it in good shape, everybody will travel on that road. And they will be happy and be praying for him. If he's able to address the flooding and erosion, everybody will be praying for him. There are people whose houses have been swallowed up by flooding. Quite a number of challenges. I won't tell you lie, Deji. But that is why on the first day of office, he's going to hit the ground running. And he's already, doing the appropriate thing, going around reaching out people, thanking them for even giving him the opportunity. And like a panebita that they call him, panebitas are makers. They turn bad things to good things. When a vehicle is badly damaged, accidented and all that, a panebita will bring it to shape to put it to use again. That's what Okpebholo has come to do.
All right. Okay. We can only wish your party the best of luck. Kasim Afebwa, Director of Media of the APC Campaign Council for the Edo State Governorship election. Thank you very much for your time and thanks for coming on the show, sir.
It's a pleasure always. Thank you very much.
Well, that's how much you can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.